Hello everyone, it's Dio from Firm Fair Gaming, bringing you another World of Warcraft video. Welcome everybody to another video here in our Mythic Plus weekly review. So finally, after a few tough weeks, last week was actually not too bad, but we're back to what is going to be another big push week. The first time this was up, there was a ton of people pushing higher keys, and so I think it was called the Great Push, as I believe is what it was referred to when it first showed up here in Season 2. So this is Tyrannical with Bursting and Volcanic. So basically, Tyrannical, so the bosses are going to have more health and deal a little bit more damage. And the Bursting is whenever a trash mob dies, so a non-boss enemy dies, that it is going to apply a debuff to the party, and it can stack. And basically, every time a mob dies, it continues to add stacks, and that stack will explode over 4 seconds periodically, and it deals more and more damage for each stack that you have. So basically, when you're doing the larger pulls, you're going to have to be mindful of your stacks and kind of stagger the kills so that you don't end up with like 7 or 8 stacks on top of each other, because 6 is the magic number in which it will wipe the group without like ridiculous amounts of CDs. So you want to be mindful of that and try to keep, I think at max, really, you want to just get up to 4, maybe 5. 6 is, like I was saying, the danger zone, so you want to avoid that as much as possible. And the reason it's a push week is because the other affix is just volcanic, which means that underneath your feet there's going to be a spout of flame that is going to shoot up. So you're just going to have to watch where you're standing. This is more of an issue for ranged casters, healers, and DPS, and just move out from underneath the spout of flame, because otherwise it'll knock you up in the air and interrupt your cast. So just mindful of that. So ultimately, it should be a pretty good week push-wise, because the trash doesn't gain any health. They don't add any debuffs to the tank. It's just a party-wide mechanic with the bursting. So priests are going to be quite popular this week because Mass Dispel is going to be clutch. But you can CD through it if you do get up to like 5 stacks, give or take. Like Spiritling Totem and that sort of thing will help out immensely. That being said, looking at the responsibilities of everybody, so starting with the tank, basically it's going to be up to you to kind of monitor the stacks because you're the one that does the pulling. So you guys got to be mindful when you complete a current pull before pulling into the next one. If you have a lot of stacks are up, the healer may need more time to just get that under control and get the party topped up. You don't want to go and have like 5 stacks running and then go pull like an easy pull where something might die right away, or where there's some AoE damage while the stacks are still ticking away on your party. So just be mindful of that when you're going from pull to pull. For the volcanic, it really won't apply to melee unless you're doing kiting and you happen to drag it over top of ranged DPS or healers where a volcanic is going to spout. Otherwise, mainly just watch in case your healer gets hit by one and goes flying. You may have to use a CD just in case, and if you're needing a heal at that moment in time. So basically, you just want to stagger pulls and just watch for flying healers, and otherwise you should be good. For heals, the dot can be dispelled, so Priest Mass Dispels is going to rock here. Other healers, you can just pick an individual and dispel it if you want. So generally, you might want to dispel one quickly and get it off. And so maybe at 2, and then as the group continues to progress, you can dispel another one when you maybe get to 4 or whatever to make it less intensive, or at least save one party member. And then other than that, you're just going to watch your feet for the volcanic. You don't want to get hit by that during a big cast because that might, cause a death, or may even get yourself killed in the event of that. If you have a Shadow Priest in the group, just remind them that they can do the Mass Dispel and maybe coordinate with them a Dispel rotation, like whether you want them to use it when they get 4 stacks or 5 or whatever, just coordinate with that as you will. And you can even utilize that with your tank to plan a route accordingly to get the most benefit out of all the CDs that you have available. For DPS, so ultimately the control of the pulls is on the tank as previously mentioned, but you're the ones that are killing everything, so you want to try to stagger the kills. So if you get up to like 4, you may want to start staggering, so be mindful, watch your debuff. try to get it to fall off before killing another one. If something is incredibly low, switch from AoEing to single targeting a higher life mob until the debuff falls, and then you can just kill them all at once. But again, don't get above 6. 6 is going to be a group wipe, most likely, unless you have a priest with a mass dispel or raid CDs up in order to save your lives, because 6 seems to be the magical number that causes all sorts of chaos for the healer, and it's unhealable. Definitely when it gets way up there. And then, of course, for the ranged DPS, you're just going to want to watch your feet. The Volcanic is going to spread underneath you. You got, I believe, around a second or so to move, so you're better off to cancel your cast, move, get out of the way, unless you're in the last portion of it. I would just cancel it and move. Because if you get knocked up, basically you'd end up wasting like 4 seconds instead of half a second. And again, just keep in mind the big thing is going to be the bursting, so it lasts for 4 seconds. So stagger the kills once your stacks get up there, and then resume killing. Rinse and repeat, and you should win. So overall, it should be a pretty good week. Like I said, this was the great push week of the season already, earlier when it happened the first time. So we're expecting the same thing this time. And with 915 and of course the uncapped AoE and all that sort of stuff, it should be a big week. So good luck, everybody. I hope Vault gives you everything that you're looking for tomorrow. And I hope you have a good week pushing, and I'll catch you guys next week.